Hello, in this video I will show you how to build a simple color changing beacon. And in the end we will add some more functionality to it. So first we just build the beacon base for the beacons to light up. We can at most have 11 beacons next to each other, because otherwise the push limit of the pistons would be exceeding. And the way the wiring works is that a block that is getting pushed into a wall is causing the wall to get a block update, which we detect with an observer, and that powers the piston pushing the glass block, which in the end, if we have all 4 stations, will push them around in a circle, and we will make a circle going upwards, because that way we prevent the white flashing beacon light which you have if you only have one row of glass. The exact placement of my redstone dust or my walls or so is not important. That you can make freely depending on the place you have and how you want to do it. Just always test after building one of these modules if the piston is pushing the row if you place a glass block, and then you can move on to the next one. And when all the 4 stations are in place, you can place the last glass block to start the comp sequence, and then it moves around in circles. The most basic thing we can add is an on and off function for the color changing. For that we want to pull out an observer, because pushing in the observer will cause the device to start again. And with these sticky pistons I place, I'm able to pull out the lowest layer of the beacon base, allowing me to stop the beacon light completely. I use a single tick observer here. For people on Bedrock, you can also just invert the signal and have the pistons constantly extended, and then retract the pistons if you want to turn it off. And next I want to add a timer or a pulse extender that allows me to have the color changing going on for a given amount of time. I can adjust the length I want to have. And the principle here is that the items inside the hopper are getting pushed from one hopper into the other hopper, and the amount or the time that takes until 32 items in my case are moved over. This is the time the beacon color changing is going on. The downside of this pulse extender is that it takes the same amount of time to go back into its original state until it has the full pulse extension again. And just fill in the amount of items for the duration you want to have it. I also can recommend combining it with a note block song. And in the end we also want to add a start function that is not player interaction required, and you could have a hopper clock for example, but I just use a tree here. So the tree is getting observed by an observer. The repeater needs to be at least on 2 ticks, and even though the tree cannot grow, it still gets random ticked, and that is getting detected by the observer. I increased the random tick speed here to show that. I hope the video was interesting and you now can play around with color changing beacons. Have fun and bye bye.